Hi everybody, my name is Bill Black. I own Spirit River. We manufacture fishing flies and we sell fly tying materials. I also have another company here called Over the Edge Tackle, and what we do there is we produce a lot of salmon and steelhead jigs. What I'd like to show you right now is some very basic jig tying techniques. Okay, so what you want to do is you want to start with a jig head. This has already been powder coated. And what we're going to do is we're going to put that inside the vise, and we're going to lock the vise down. Typically you want your handle to stick straight down, and you want your jig to be horizontal like this. You don't want to have your jig sticking up or down. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little heavy-duty thread here, and I'm going to go ahead and start tying the jig. What you want to do is you have a bobbin. I always carry my scissors in my hand at all times, just for speed's sake, because I've always tied flies commercially and jigs, and so I want speed. So what you do is you tie it on and you wrap over the top, always over the top. Pretty much all your chenilles, all your yarns, everything goes over the top. The advantage there is you can always back up if you make a mistake. You can untie something as well as you can tie it. So you tie that on, clip off your excess thread. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of Marabou. Marabou comes from the butt of a turkey. This is strung Marabou. You can buy Marabou in two ways. You can buy it loose or you can buy it strung. This is strung. Somebody sorts it and then they run it through a sewing machine, and this is really a convenient way to use your Marabou. This particular feather is really nice and soft and fluffy. I like that one. Rather than tear it out, I'm just going to cut it. It's a lot easier to do. Okay. What we're going to do here is we're going to measure it. In essence, this is the shank of your hook, the length of your entire top of your hook, not the bend part, right here. And I'm going to tie this Marabou to equal about one length back. Okay? I'm going to want it right about there. And what I do with this Marabou is I stroke it and get it all nice and even. And I'll put it right there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around kind of loose with my thread and roll it as I pull it tight. Do you see that little roll to it? That basically puts that Marabou all around the hook. I'm going to go in and clip it. And then I'm going to continue with a few more wraps to really cinch that down. Now we're going to need a little bit more Marabou. Now's the time if you wanted to use a different color Marabou. I'm going to throw in a little different colored pink. So what I'm going to do here again is I'm going to clean it up, stroke it, and I'm going to set this on here. And now you can see how I'm matching the lengths back and forth. I'm going to set it right there, and I'm kind of pressing down on it with 3 or 4 of my fingers, just kind of making it sort of swoop down and around. Again, I go loose, pull it tight, and all the time I'm slowly working forward. I'm going to grab my scissors and I'm going to run them down so I get a good clean cut, and I don't have a lot of excess material up front here to worry about. Then I just go around a few different times and oh, that's beautiful. Go around a few different times and really secure that Marabou in there. A lot of times at this point I will take a little drop of super glue and I'll put that on right now. That just welds it all together. Super glue is a key ingredient. Next I'm going to take a little Pearlescent Fly Flash. We sell a lot of materials, a lot of flashes in bags like this. One of the tricks that I like to do is, instead of opening the bag and pulling it all out, you do a little clip here so that you've got an opening, and then you just go ahead and put your scissors in there and tease a little bit out. The rest of your material stays clean, very usable, and you've got plenty of material right here. And then grab yourself about, I don't know, 6 or 8 strands. You don't want to go too heavy. Go ahead and clip that off. Okay. Sorry, I got to put my glasses on now. Okay, now the idea here is some of these are kind of long, so I'm evening them up. I'm going to tie some in on this side and the back side. And eventually, as you go around, they'll just kind of moosh around to the point where they look pretty much all the way around the jig. So there I go. I've got 3 fingers holding that material onto the side of the hook. Again, I go loose and pull it tight. And you can see that thread cinch up against that material, and I take 2 wraps forward. All that flash now is on this side. Take your fingers, pull it back over the top, take 1 more wrap, and now start pulling that flash material towards the back and start wrapping back again. What that does is that locks that material on the back side of that jig. What you do then is, to even up all that flash, you clip it. Pull it all back like that and clip it. Now, in the world of tying jigs and flies, you never really want to clip the end of natural feathers or hair. So anyway, you've got a beautiful natural taper to all of this marabou. Just a little bit longer, I've got that flash material. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little of this Spirit River Lightning Dub. Lightning Jig Dub was designed specifically for making jigs. We sell it both through Spirit River and through Over the Edge Tackle. This is a real easy material to use. There's a couple different ways you can use it. What you do is you just tease a little bit out like this, and what I'm going to do is I just kind of make sure it's all mixed up nicely, and again I'm going to do what's called center tie it. I lay it here on the side and I go around and I slowly wrap it around, and I go around 2 or 3 times, and then I take my fingers and I start brushing it back, and as I do that I'll bring my thread forward right behind the ball, and I go around a few times and eventually kind of work my thread backwards a little in order to tie that material and lock it in, and it also in essence swoops it all back. I'll go around a few times, and then what I do is I'll do a whip finish. You can do that, or another real nice, clean, simple thing to do is you can take your super glue and you can add it right here to the thread. As you wrap it around, that super glue goes all the way around that knot thread, so that head, and that really locks it in nicely. So you can go around a couple different times like that. Pretty much all that super glue has been used. If you want to do a half hitch, you put your fingers like this, you go like this, you can go up underneath it and pull it down tight. Always cinch your half hitches. Or you can actually, once that super glue starts to harden a little bit, you can just clip it. Now notice I didn't clip it like this. I open up my scissors and use the sharpness of the blade just to trim that off. And there you have a very simple, beautiful little jig, little marabou jig.